You have also delved deeply into criminalization of politics. It's not that criminalization of politics is, limited to UP only. It's prevalent in all states. I mean, in some form or the other, especially in North Indian states. But why is it so rampant in UP?
Yeah, but see, if you, it's a thing that I researched and thought about it, because of course, criminalization of and politician and criminal nexus is the oldest debate in India now. So there's a particular, I wouldn't like to use the word spin, but aspect to it. And that aspect is when I went deep into different stories, kept on researching, and then I came up with the caste angle behind it. That why? And of course, most of the research I dug deep into was Eastern UP naturally, because that was
you mentioned
the
about
worst.
Harishankar Tiwari and Vikas
Yeah.
Dubey.
Yeah. So I came to the conclusion that even in crime, there is a very, and which is a unique aspect in UP. It's not the same in other states. There's a caste angle to it. Whether it is Dadwa, who's a Kurmi, he had temples made for himself. The Pulan Devi story herself, the Nirbhay Singh Gujar story, again, a very well-known person. So then I looked that at some stage, it is oppression of the lower caste, by the upper caste. Now, these are stories which eventually forced them to pick up a gun and rule, and sort of not accept the rule of law and rule it by their own means. That is the reason I wrote these chapters on caste criminalization. And of course, once your criminality reached a point of success, it naturally laid the foundation for you to get into politics, because you were either helping MLAs win the elections, or you were organizing yourself in politics and changing parties. There's a chapter called Switchers, so going from this side to the other. So it was very complex for me to research that particular thing, because straight away I would have just said politics and crime. No, there's a deep angle and aspect to it, and that was caste, and which is where I turned the chapters into caste criminalization. And if you see each story, each mention there, you'll find the link of how it happened and how each dacoit from a different caste actually took on the upper caste. In fact, even the Pulan Devi story, on which movies have been made in the past, there are certain things I've told which have not been discussed earlier. So that was a very unique element which I researched. And that is also because there was a caste assertion. When these people turned criminal, the caste also felt powerful, because to their darbar, literally the politicians were coming to seek blessings to win elections. So the caste also all of a sudden felt very powerful. And that is how the criminality, or the culture of criminality with the combination of politics, grew and reached enormous proportions in the 80s, in the 90s, which is unbelievable. Even in fact, starts from the 70s itself.
Yeah. You have also mentioned about how, Ayodhya has changed the landscape of UP and India. So do you think that, religion and the Hindutva agenda are here to stay in India as long as BJP is the dominant political force in the country?
Yes. Straightforward answer, yes. What else does this election prove? As I just said, there's a chapter BJP Ram Bharose. This time also it was Ram Bharose. The only difference was earlier they said the temple should be built there. Then they kept on doing their share of flip-flops. We'll accept the court verdict, eventually BJP said. Now, once the verdict came and the construction started, so see how BJP managed to again politically gain out of it. And again, so for a common man who's obviously not a journalist, BJP absolutely managed to tell them that it is in our government, that the construction of the Ram temple is happening. Now, so obviously it will be there. There's no doubt about it as far as I'm concerned.
And they will push the Hindutva agenda further in the run-up to the 2024 elections?
Well, if it gets them this kind of numbers, which is now the continuity since 2014. Surely it will.